My inspiration for the Ellen MacArthur Cancer Trust was sailing with a similar charity in France that helped young people in recovery from cancer. And I remember vividly that first day that I went to work with those young people. I was actually really nervous. I didn't speak brilliant French, and I'd certainly never really worked with young people, or most importantly, young people in recovery from cancer before. But within 5 minutes of setting foot on the boat with those young people, I was having more fun than I'd had in literally years. They were incredible. They were inspirational, so full of life. And it really made me feel that if this opportunity to get them on the water, to give them this situation where they could be amongst peers who understood what they'd been through, but in a situation like being on a boat, if that could really be so transformational, then we should really try and do something similar in the UK. And that's what gave birth to the Ellen MacArthur Cancer Trust. First of all, I can't believe we're 18 years old. It seems like yesterday when we ran our first trip with just 2 boats. We set off in a very similar way in many ways to those trips that we do today. We had 2 boats, we had 4 young people on each boat, we had medical supporters and skippers, obviously, and we set off and we went off for an adventure. Now, the very core of that is exactly the same today as it was back then, except now every year we work with hundreds of young people, not just those original 2 boats. After that first trip, the young people can come back, and that is something we've evolved over the years. They can come back and sail again, and with a return to sail, they can come and do an outdoor pursuits week with us, so they get to mix with those young people that they've been with again. And in fact, now we have young people working with us as adult volunteers who first sailed with us as young people many, many years ago. And what's really special about that is that young people who are going through cancer treatment do meet other young people going through cancer treatment through the children's cancer centres in the UK. But what they don't meet is adults who had cancer as a child. And bringing in those young people, now they're adults, and them being the volunteers has had a massive impact, a really positive impact on those young people who've literally just come through their treatment and have fairly recently been diagnosed. I think the reason that the magic happens on those trips is that sailing is an adventure. It brings this real spirit of freedom. It's new to nearly all the young people who sail with us. So they're in a different environment, doing something different, where actually in sailing the boat, they have to focus on something they've not focused on before. And it takes them out of their illness. They're filled with confidence from the team and the skippers and the volunteers. And they focus on something that isn't their cancer. Our trips, they're not about cancer. They're about helping those young people to step out from their cancer treatment and move on with their lives. So actually, the more we focus on something different, the better. And I think sailing offers that complete immersion in something totally different. Since the Cancer Trust relationship with Musto began at its inception in 2003, our relationship really has evolved. Initially, it was just a few young people that we were keeping warm and dry, but now we've expanded our activities to outdoor pursuits, and many, many more young people coming on the boat. So they've helped to keep our young people warm and dry and helped to look after them. But also Musto itself has supported us through supporting us on our Round Britain trip, through the fundraising campaign at Christmas. Musto itself has got involved and I think really does truly understand what the Cancer Trust does and how it operates and how it benefits those young people who sail with us. The Musto T-shirt design competition happens every year, and the young people who we work with right across the UK can put forward their entries as to the design that goes on our T-shirt for the year. And we've had incredible support from the young people for it. There's a huge appetite for designs, and some of what we end up judging really is quite extraordinary. They're superb drawings, and they really encompass what the Cancer Trust is all about. I remember the first letter that I received from Musto when I'd won the Young Sailor of the Year award back in 1994. And it was a letter from Keith Musto saying, "Come in and tell us what your plans are." And I remember that meeting brought together all my plans to sail around Britain when I was 18. I announced it literally there and then to them, saying, "This is what I'm going to go and do this year. I'm going to sail around Britain." And they supported me with my first set of Musto oilskins, and I've worked with Musto ever since. They've been a phenomenal supporter to all my offshore racing and my team racing, and now obviously supporting the trust is something which I'm incredibly proud of. I've always felt, when you go to sea, it's an extreme environment. There are good days and bad days, like everything in life. But if you're warm and dry, you can function better. Having been out there on the ocean, it does transform your life when you're warm, you're dry, and you can function. And that's the same whether you're sailing around the coast, whether you're racing around the world, or whether you're going out for a day on the water. If you're warm and you're dry, you're happy. And adventures can happen in a much broader way. And when the weather is a little less favorable, you can still get out there. I've got to the point now where I'm able to follow the race again, because for many years I found it extremely difficult. Having decided to set foot outside of offshore racing, which I never thought I would do, I really struggled to get back in touch with it because I missed it massively. I'd never had enough. I never wanted to retire. I just felt that I had an opportunity to make a difference somewhere else and I should do that. And in order to do that, I had to mentally park sailing for me, the competitive element, because I couldn't cope with it. I couldn't be involved because I missed it so much. But now things have evolved. I still miss it massively, but I've been able to follow this Vendée Globe a little more closely than the previous editions. 2020 has been a really challenging year for all of us at the Trust. For the first year since our inception, we haven't been able to take young people out on the water to help them to rebuild their confidence. We've had to reinvent ourselves, but we still have worked with those young people. We've worked with them virtually. We've run courses, navigation courses, even engine maintenance courses, trying to help those young people to step out of their illness, to think about the future and the time when they come sailing with us. So we very much hope that 2021 brings us back a little bit more to normal, when we can get back on the water with those young people and help them on their journey to recovery. If you'd like to help young people across the UK in recovery from cancer, please do help us with fundraising. On our website, we've got all sorts of ideas and thoughts about what you can do. There are events you can get involved with virtually and also physically once things return a little bit back more to normal. And if you're a young person going through treatment for cancer and you'd like to get involved with the Trust, go on our website, see what we're all about. There are loads of videos and testimonials as to what it's all about. And then speak to an expert within your hospital, a Click Sergeant cancer nurse, a TCT nurse, or get involved directly through contacting the team at the Cancer Trust. We would absolutely love to help you.